Oh God,
He's a completionist.
I suffer from the same flaw as Himmel.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stone-Faced Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Justin, and we are here with episode 23 of Frieren, Beyond Journey's End. Why don't you go ahead and recount for us what happened last time?
Last time was a episode centralized around everybody just having some recovery time, eating food, getting to know different members, or re-catching up with people in moments that wasn't violence against everybody. We also had Stark being taken off with Wurple to deal with a problem when he was in the middle of feeling real awkward being surrounded by 4 women. And Fern throwing multiple tantrums because she's not used to she's with people who don't get up in the morning.
Twice? 3 times?
Exactly.
Well, we went out for snacks twice, and then somebody brought snacks to the room. So
we went out for a meal, like a full meal, snacks, and then snacks to the room.
No, she only ate snacks.
No, she had dessert.
It's a snack. A dessert is a snack. Anyway, any other thoughts about last episode or what's coming up here?
No, we don't have any sort of insight. We do know that Sense has not passed people.
But not every time.
Entire groups, so that builds up the pressure, but that's it.
Not every time, but also the fact we also know Ubel, who is in this, has killed a previous proctor before.
Yep.
So, both sides to look forward to.
Exactly.
Alright, well, I guess with that, we should just go ahead and get into it.
Let's do the damn thing.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
The place that we saw at the end of last episode.
Yep.
私が担当する試験に関しては、これまでの結果から実に様々な憶測が飛び交っていると聞く。君たちの中にも噂を耳にした者はいるだろう。だが身構える必要はない。試験は至ってシンプル。一級魔法使いを目指す者ならば難なく切り抜けられるものだ。それでは。第二次試験の詳細を説明する。
It's funny that they've broken up into the groups that they're in. The 2 groups that we haven't met before are still in 3s, which means that either they've paired up well, or the girl that we saw wandering around with the star necklace last episode that we haven't met before.
Yep.
Those 2 behind her feel like, I don't know, like she's a note from a noble family and they've been hired to get her through the test. Which would be a trope that happens a lot. I think more in manhwa and manga, but also you see it a lot in anime. Otherwise, Fern and Frieren standing together, Ubel and Land, which I don't know why Land is still letting that happen, but Ubel is still there beside him.
I think he's just like, sure, whatever, do what you want.
I don't know, he seems so annoyed by it that like I said, who knows if that's even Land, right? Could be a clone.
I get indifference. I think he's determined that her style of magic is also her weakness.
Well, I mean, more so the fact that he doesn't want to be copied, I feel like. And if he's going to be copied, you don't want her standing around, getting all empathetic.
So, with her, the thing is, if she just copies, basically, the copy clearly can't be as good as that of the specialist.
You don't know that. You don't know that because this fucking... it happens all the time.
Fair,
Sometimes
okay.
it can, sometimes it can't. I'd say more often than not you'd be right, but that's not a rule.
合格条件はただ一つ。霊落の応募の最深部までたどり着くことだ。私は平和主義者でね。争いは好まない。よって、たどり着いた者は全員合格とする。
待て。ここは多くの冒険者が帰らぬものになった未踏破のダンジョンだ。また合格者を出さないつもりか？
何を言っている？君たちが目指しているのは魔法使いの最高峰だ。不可能を可能にするのが一級魔法使い。
Yeah, you have to be first class to endure terrible
ね
situations.
じ伏せて突き進むんだ。
最深部にたどり着いたということをどう証明すればよいのですか？
Just she'll be
金
there.
銀財宝でも持ち帰ればいいのかしら。
証明の必要はない。私も共に最深部まで潜る。無論、受験者に手は貸さんがな。それと
Just watching you fail,
全員にこの瓶を
like
渡
a
しておく。
magical Willy Wonka.
一級魔法使いレルネンが開発した脱出用ゴーレムだ。瓶を割ればゴーレムが現れ、ダンジョンの外まで運び出してくれる。試作段階だが安全性は十分だ。使用者は不合格となるが、負傷などで試験継続不可能。
Nobody concerned about the fact that Sense's power seems to be hair control.
将来有望な人材が死ぬのは許容できん。それと明日の夜明けには自動で瓶が割れるようになっている。それが第二次試験の期限となる。
Do those bottles specifically connect to the person they were given to?
I don't think
Because
so.
if so, if that is the case, if you were to go around smashing people's bottles,
Well, see, I think that's the implication, is that she says anybody that reaches the bottom will pass, but she didn't say there's only a set amount of people who can pass, which then doesn't seem like there's any reason for these people to fight one another.
この時代のダンジョンは入り口が複数あるが、どれも最深部に通じている。それぞれの入り口を調べれば、ある程度の内部構造が。
Well, if this was like,
全員で手分けをして。
oh god, what was Asarak's tomb called again? I've already forgotten.
Tomb of Horrors.
If this is the Tomb of Horrors, then there's a hidden entrance.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, I mean, because there's multiple fake entrances.
それは無理だな。第一次試験とは違って合格条件に仲間の生存がない。徒党を組んだところで仲間を助ける義理はないし、いざという時
You help one another because it makes the test easier to work as a group.
特にあんたはダンジョンに詳しいようだしな。
You're
俺は
literally
一人で行く。
idiots.
Yep.
That was the preface of the test, is that you're not hindered by how many people pass it. I guess unless the next test is a combat test, in which case, reduce the number of combatants.
少なくともよく知らねえやつとは組めねえよな。行くぞ。
ちょっと待ってよ。
I guess it kind of also reminds me of the first floor from Tower of God, which is everybody here, kill half the other people here, and then the second test is make 3 friends.
いいんですか、フリーレン様。
Yeah, it's real crazy.
成立しないよ。
There's 1,000 people here, kill down to 200 people. Now make 3 friends of all the people you've been trying to kill.
では私は君たちについていこう。君たちが一番安全に最深部にたどり着けそうだ。邪魔しないでよね。しないよ。邪魔も手助けも。
That would be a thing, wouldn't it? If the proctor intentionally helps you, to then be able to disqualify you for having been helped.
I don't think that would allow for disqualification. Because I think if you asked them for help, sure. But if they did it just to mess with you, I think that would be its own. Like that.
I mean, in fairness, I guess she said I won't help you, she didn't say if I do help you, X will happen, right? So.
Yep.
相変わらずダンジョンに詳しいですね。
前はそうでもなかったんだけれどもね。ヒンメルがダンジョン好きだったから。
Also, she clearly knows nothing about mimics yet.
ダンジョンに潜ったんだよ。
Yeah.
ダンジョンが好きってどういうことですか？
言葉通りの意味だよ。ワクワクするんだってさ。わけがわからないよね。
次の階層に続く階段だな。
そうか、こっちのルートは外れだな。さっきの分かれ道まで戻るぞ。
そうですね。なぜだ。俺たちの目的は最深部にいる魔物だ。
いつになったら学ぶんだ、アイゼン。ダンジョンは一つの階層をすべて踏破してから次に進むもの。
Oh God.
He's a completionist.
I suffer from the same flaw as Himmel.
楽しんで人助けができるのなら、それが一番じゃ
That's how you can tell that their game isn't a survival one. Or a resource management one.
そうだそうだ。
Yeah, even in resource management, it's hard for me to not want to explore the whole map.
Well, the thing is, in a resource management one, the more you dawdle, the less you're able to see. So you're not curious enough if you're being too curious, ironically.
それに分かれ道の先にあるのは珍しい魔導書かもしれない。
And he knows how to work her.
何やってるの？早く戻るよ。本当
Yep.
にわけがわからないよね。
What are
That
they
makes
waiting
sense.
for?
行こうぜ。
What's Denkin waiting for?
I think he was waiting for whatever
I guess
Richter went with.
結局
Oh.
残ったのは5人か。
I was gonna say, is he waiting for everybody else to spring all the traps or something?
攻略の可能性は十分にあった。
See, he's saying the thing as I said.
実力者が揃っていたはずだったのだがな。デンケン、みんながあんたほど割り切れるわけじゃない。第一次試験の最後に。
Wait, maybe I have to switch my favorite from Warble to Denkin.
気に食わなかったんだろうさ。より賢い連中が残った。そう思えばいい。少なくともこの中にミミックのような単純な罠にかかって足を引っ張るバカはいない。それでいいだろう、デンケン。そんなバカがこの試験にいるものか。
Frieren, obviously. You know, a condition for the test wasn't that the dungeon had to survive?
Correct.
Richter controls stone. Stone is what the dungeon's made of.
この魔力。
Yep.
魔導書かも。
フリーレン様、ミークハイトの判別結果は見ましたよね。ミミックです。
フェルン、その魔法の精度は 99% だよ。
それがどうかしたのですか？
残りの 1% を見破った偉大な魔法使いたちがいたからこそ歴史的な発見があったんだ。
Conversely, the mimic could have also swallowed a Grimoire.
この中身は貴重な魔導書だよ。私の魔法使いとしての経験がそう告げている。
Yep.
I guess thankfully mimics aren't, like, vicious. Like, it's got giant teeth, but it's clearly not trying to break her in half.
Yeah.
ついていく人たち、間違えたかな。
Somebody got vaporized. From the floor and the ceiling.
Yeah.
Oh. Squashed, not vaporized.
まさかそこの人型のシミって。
えげつないな。骨も残らないのか。
Gargoyles was mentioned in the last next time on.
Yep. What Denkin is I know what Denkin's overall plan was. His plan was to let everybody else trigger the traps.
Yeah, I said that when they were outside. That why would you stay outside to let everybody else try everything?
Yep.
Fools, you had to put the jewel in its hand. The broken jewel. That's just a Tomb of Horrors reference for anyone who gets that. Uh-oh.
Time for some acupuncture.
You're about to get rolled.
Denken, 一人閉じ込められた。わかっている。壁の向こうだ。下がっていろ。
Universally, Richter could have just moved the stone.
やはりダメか。やむをえん。瓶を割れ。もう一人脱落か。少しの油断が命取りになるな。
I don't know why Richter didn't try.
Neither do I.
ねえフェルン、ちょっといいかな。一旦引っ張るのやめよう。ちぎれちゃうから。
はい。
こういう時はね、逆に押し込むんだよ。ミミックがおえってなって噛むのやめるから。
Then what the fuck is a mimic good for? If it's not trying to swallow you because it'll choke.
ふう、助かった。まったく。一人の時はどう処理していたんですか？
Mimic ecology makes no sense in this world.
内側から爆破していた。でも髪の毛がチリチリになっちゃうから嫌なんだよね。ただいま。縦ロールになっちゃった。
時々髪型変わっていたのってそういうことだったんですね。なんで？
じゃあ気を取り直して攻略を進めるよ。ガーゴイルだ。動き出す前に倒すよ。
このメダルいろんな場所で見かけますね。
どっかの小塚が集めてるらしいよ。
She's having fun, at least.
Yeah.
こっちは正規のルートっぽいから引き返すよ。
なんで？
It's not often that we get to see her being all energetic like this.
思ったよりも順調ですね。
確かに未踏破のダンジョンにしてはおかしいね。構造的にもう最深部は近いはずだし。どちらにせよ油断は禁物だね。次の現実を見つけたら一旦休憩にしようか。結構いいもの手に入ったね。
ガラクタにしか見えませんが。
I figure also the Sense is constantly doing her tests here. This is all the shit nobody else found in all these years.
Yep.
頬ずりしてる。私がわからないのは君だよ、フェルン。その若さで君ほど優秀な魔法使いは見たことがない。相当な修練を積んだはずだ。なのに君からは情熱も執念も感じない。不思議な子だ。
私はとある人に恩を返すために一人前の魔法使いになりました。それは当時の私の人生の目標で。
Not picking up on what she means by not sensing dedication.
その先があるだなんて考えもしませんでした。
Look at she seems to wander around emotionless with no point other than just following Frieren around. My assumption.
Very determination.
魔法の探求を続けているんだ。
フリーレン様、楽しそうでしょ。
そうだな。
私が初めてダンジョンに潜った時も、フリーレン様はガラクタみたいな。
So I guess if you had to consider, what would Fern be doing without Frieren around?
True.
つられて笑ってしまったんです。きっと私はそんなフリーレン様の姿が好きだから、一緒に魔法を追い求めているんだと思います。そろそろ先に進みましょう。
やっぱり君たちについてきて正解だったようだ。きっと君たちならこの過酷なダンジョンも楽しむことができる。
I guess ironically, I guess Frieren's journey through the dungeon is the most boring one of all, because she knows all dungeon tricks from Himmel, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, versus seeing the guy who got crushed between the floor and the ceiling. Turns into that movie Cube.
拘束されたわ。魔力を消した魔法使い。
Up, Ubel. Ubel and land.
Yep.
So I appreciate that they set this up enough ahead of time that we know who's here. Okay, I guess I'm surprised. I got that wrong. It does make me think what Ubel, what her clone would be doing, since she copies powers.
This is where I think Ubel is at a major disadvantage.
魔法によって作られた複製体だな。魔族か魔物の仕業だろう。だがこれほど完璧な他者の複製は見たことがない。魔力も技量もラウフェンと同等だった。所作もそうだ。記憶さえも利用している。
Oh my gosh! Hold on.
あまりいい気分じゃないね。
If its behavior is the same, if we see Fern and Frieren get to this room, they're gonna actually get helpers.
Depends. They could just be antagonistic clones even with memories. It doesn't... It depends.
It's true. It's possible that's the case. But if they act the same, then that is a huge benefit. If it actually just gives them
See, I don't know, because
people.
their clones are attacking them, right? So it can't be a one-for-one copy, otherwise every version of you would be helping you. But I think it's also a trope of I think so differently that even if you copy me, I'll help me.
あれも対処できるのか。
Is Frieren already here?
これが試験でなかったらわしはとうに美を割っておる。
Yeah. I say Frieren already here because she's one of the heroes, right? And she's the mage hero. So.
Yeah. And they're gonna cut there.
It's either I was thinking it's Frieren only because the mage hero thing, but it's either that or the person you're afraid of the most.
That could be it.
Because Denkin might look up to her, but at the same time recognizing who she is, he recognizes that she's the biggest threat to his success.
Okay, so if it's the person you're afraid of the most, it would be real funny if Frieren entered that one of those spaces first and they had to fight Fern.
Oh, see, I was going to say Himmel. Not because she's afraid of Himmel, but she's afraid of Himmel. I don't know how to phrase this right.
I know what you mean.
Emotionally an idiot. I'm emotionally an idiot, so I can't say the words. You know, she's afraid of Himmel, but she's not afraid of Himmel.
I know what you mean.
Although, I guess technically that doesn't work, because we've already seen that, remember? The forest, episode 3, I want to say? With the spirits of the dead, or something making illusions of them. Because even that fake Himmel helped her. So, I don't think they can pull from the former party.
But I like the idea of Frieren recognizing the massive possibility of Fern.
私の目を見てください。
不可能ではない。時間を稼げば完璧な複製体だ。
It is titled Perfect Replicas.
Again, though, what you're describing is like a common trope, right? Where you have the one character who's typically so weird or something throughout the whole series, that when you make a copy of them, the copy doesn't do what you expect and does its own thing.
Yeah.
That's a somewhat common trope amongst that kind of character. Whereas I think the implication here is that they're set to be aggressive no matter who they are. Because obviously we've got a Frieren perfect copy. And I don't think Frieren was just gonna randomly attack people if she was there herself. So obviously the perfect copy is in aggro mode.
Yes, but that's not. But the Frieren copy we've seen wasn't up against Frieren.
Well, no, it doesn't matter though. Like I'm saying, I don't think Frieren in the wild would just randomly attack these three people. That Frieren would land, talk to you, etc. Or they'd find her in the room asleep. You know, I'm just saying that this isn't. Isn't it like? Did you ever watch Death Battle?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, the concept is that these are people who are set up to fight.
Yeah,
you don't take into account their psychology only in so much as it might affect the battle. Otherwise, Superman versus whatever, go. It's like, well, if this is real, they'll sit down and talk, and maybe Goku will fight for a bit. Because Goku loves to fight, but otherwise they're not just gonna... Superman's not gonna go death punch right off the bat, because it's not Superman.
Yeah.
So, I think they says perfect replicas. Maybe that's gonna be an element of what happens. Like, we know their weaknesses because they're perfect replicas, but I don't see it. Maybe one of them will be...
I think there's anyone that does it, it will be Frieren running into Frieren.
Yeah, I disagree. Well, you might be right, actually. You might be right because I think that one room might be set up to always be Frieren, regardless of who it is. Remember, I have the two guesses. It's either always Frieren, because she's the hero, the mage hero of the party, so this mage test is always going to have the big hero who defeated the Demon King. Or it's going to be interpretation, and this might be Denkin's interpretation. If there's going to be one in my eye, and if it's the second interpretation of your greatest fear or whatever, my thought would be it's going to be Ubel. Ubel's going to run into an Ubel, and Ubel is that weird character that I'm talking about, that it feels like their copy is going to be the one that doesn't go after their real self.
Interesting. I could see that.
But that's the basis of the trope, really. That's such a weird character. That she is such a dichotomy of things. I don't care about killing people. In fact, I lay traps for people to attack me so that I can kill them. Also, my power is based on empathizing with people, which you'd think would be the furthest thing from me being able to do.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I think it's very interesting that I don't know what tests to expect moving forward because the variety has been so much.
I mean, I'm still expecting a combat sort of thing. But
yes,
I don't know. The problem here is that we know first-class mages, you have to be first-class mage to enter very difficult terrain, right? So it's expected that you're going to be able to combat. Well, at the same time, the first test has already pitted people against one another in combat. It wasn't a requirement of the test, but obviously it was happening. And this time around, too.
I think a running theme of all three of the tests, I'm assuming 3, is going to be that it's possible to win without combat.
Well, yeah, no, that's what I said. If they all went in together as one giant party, there wouldn't have been any problem. And as Sense implied, there's no limit to the number of people who can pass the test. If she had said, oh, by the way, only 5 of you can pass this round, boom, would have been combat right off the bat. People would have been fighting outside, people would have been rushing inside and getting into fights and tunnels. I mean, if you wanted to make this a shonen anime, that's what you would have done. 5 people can pass the test, boom, this turns into a massive free-for-all brawl with people forming alliances, breaking alliances. Would have been fucking crazy.
But what I'm thinking is even once we're done with this dungeon/tomb, I don't think that the third test after the dungeon is going to also require combat. I think there's an active running theme of you can get here without combat.
Well, I mean, not combat against other people. Obviously, you can't get through this dungeon without combat.
That's what I mean. Combat against your fellow test takers.
I don't know. I don't know because it's clearly set up in such a way that you could gain advantage if you did combat. I mean, I know your point is it's not required. I'm just saying that they set it up in such a way that you could get a benefit from it.
But imagine if there's some clause or part of the third test where if you have not actively started combat, that you have an advantage.
Honestly, I don't know about that because they haven't set anything up in that manner before, and this show seems to be really good on setup and then payoff later.
Fair enough.
Whereas they've given the rules for every test ahead of time, that I feel like this is going to be more in the realm of reading into the rules to discover loopholes rather than some previously arranged thing that they've been watching for that we had no idea was coming. Because one's more rewarding than the other, right? Like,
oh, completely.
For example, oh shit, it's my favorite anime, and I cannot remember the name all of a sudden. My brain's doing that thing again. As I call out for a nurse, my brain's doing that thing again. Thinking? No, the opposite. I'm just going to say the thing without saying the name. Hopefully the people who know. The world you can't fight in. You can't fight in the world. It's against the rule of God. God has 10 rules because he's the god of games. You have to play games in order to accomplish it. And all the rules are based on, you can't cheat during games. If you're caught cheating, you are automatically disqualified. I'm sorry. That's not the rule. Is if you're caught cheating, you're automatically disqualified. So the rule doesn't say you can't cheat, just that if you're caught cheating, you're disqualified.
Yeah.
So it's like those kind of readings of the rules, and the meta of it is that the 10th rule doesn't apply to anything. The 10th rule is let's all have fun and play together, because it's meant to imply what the rest of the rules are referring to, and also technically how to beat God. Is that we all have to come together as one and to play these games in order to beat God in a game. Let's all have fun and play together. What's the point of the 10th rule if it doesn't? Actually, I think there's only 8 rules, but anyway, people in the commenters will know what I'm talking about. Anyone on the Discord knows what I'm talking about. Anyone who's ever seen my Twitter account knows what I'm talking about. It's the first thing pinned is the 8 rules.
You know what? I'm gonna throw a name out there and say Jujutsu Kaisen, but I don't know what that is or what it's about at all.
Do you think it's because that's on the list of anime that I have written down in the admin section of the Discord that says shows that we still need to pick up because we promised people we would watch them?
I haven't looked at the list.
Okay. Well, it's also on our schedule. Because I believe right after we're done Frieren, we're going to be watching Jujutsu Kaisen.
Boom. Look at that. I've genuinely not looked at it one bit.
Not looked at anything that would tell you what's coming up next.
No, I 100% haven't.
Well, I guess that's something for anybody who's still listening to us ramble on at the end of the episode, that after we're done Frieren, Jujutsu Kaisen is what we're going to be speeding on through.
Hell yeah,
me and Griff apparently got to right at the part of the arc where everyone says, the show gets fucking amazing. That's where we stopped.
Love it. No, I think that is my thoughts on the episode.
Yeah, because we're kind of being left off on a cliffhanger.
Very much
this
so.
is going to be the big thing, I feel like. I kind of feel like at this point, with 5 episodes left, or 4 now, that we might not even finish the tests.
I think we're going to end with the finishing of the tests.
I don't know, because it'll be a real huge cliffhanger to be like, alright, you've just finished the second test. Here's what test 3 is going to be. And then, wait for another season. So that you can start with the test thing, and then go on with the rest of the season to the rest of our journey north. I don't know, it's hard to tell. We've done, 3 episodes now in test taking?
More than that. We've done 4.
Well, no, I'm not talking about when we came to town. I'm talking about test taking.
Yeah, no, we've done 4.
Well, no, we had the first one where we set up...
The first test was 3.
I think it was 2.
I'm pretty sure it was 3.
We had Frieren, Lon, and Kane being formed together.
Because there was the round where Frieren was figuring out the details about the birds.
Right, that was first.
It ended with her being like, I have an idea.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Then there was the second one, which was the start of the idea and the start of fighting.
Yeah.
And the third one was the continuation of the fighting, because the third one started with Fern versus Denkin for real.
No, I think that was one episode. I think all the fighting was one episode.
Nope, it was split up. 100% it was split up.
You'd think I would remember more since I had to edit those episodes. I'm pretty sure it was one episode. I don't remember. Well, what was the cliffhanger?
So the cliffhanger was showing Denkin versus Fern. Sorry, Frieren. But like the walk up and the like epic music.
I don't.
Because the episode, the third one started with Frieren versus Denkin.
Because the middle of the episode
they jumped around all of the fights, because it ended with Frieren going up to like another group of people or somebody else being like, oh yeah, no, I've got one more trick. And then the bubble and raining.
In my mind, it's still all one episode.
I could be incorrect, but I'm 99% positive.
I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really, like, I'm not gonna go like Google it right now real quick and say, oh, let's figure this out. And it doesn't really matter. It's in my 100%. Head. Kind of like the way that when you watch we watched Overlord on this show, right? Overlord has the habit of, in my memory, 3 episodes are 1 episode, right? Like, God, I remember this going a lot quicker than it did. And then we watch it, and it's like, God, gotta wait for another episode for this arc to finish? So that kind of thing. Everything might be being condensed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I think that's it for this episode then.
Indeed.
Once again, I have been Theta, you've been Justin, you've been Stone-Faced Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?